Josh. I'm a student at JTech. Today we're going to go over air system pressure testing. What we're going to do, first thing you need to do is make sure that you have your wheels chocked. That way, while the brake is disengaged, your truck doesn't move. Then after that, you come over here, you want to ensure that your air tanks are completely empty. Which, as you hear, there's nothing coming from the primary or secondary. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get in the truck, we're going to build up pressure, and we're going to inspect the gauges to ensure pressure doesn't drop over the course of 2 minutes. Alright, so now what we're doing is we're letting the vehicle run to build up pressure. We're also listening for our alarm when it's going to cut off. You're going to listen and check for the governor cut in and cut out. As you hear the alarms going off, our air pressure is currently roughly about 10 psi. This alarm should cut off around 70 to 85 psi. Alright, we're still sitting here waiting for the pressure to build up. The alarm should be getting ready to go off in a second. As you hear, it's off. Now you're going to finish waiting for the pressure to completely build up to about 125 psi. Then after it builds up, we're going to sit for a few minutes and wait to see if there's any sort of pressure drop within 2 minutes. Now, we've let the truck run, built up pressure, we've released our parking brake. Now we're going to sit here for a few minutes and see if there's any drop. As if you can see the gauges here, we're sitting at about 125 psi on both gauges. We have a 4-pound limit within the 2 minutes. If we exceed that, then there's officially a problem that we need to further investigate. Alright, so it's been 2 minutes. As you can see, our gauges are still the same. They haven't moved. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get out, we're going to walk around, do a visual inspection, and hear as well as look for any possible hissing sounds from any airlines, which was a strict indication of an air leak. Alright, so now we're going to walk around the vehicle, listen for any hissing, as I said prior, and if we find some or we hear it, then we can pinpoint what we need to replace and replace that component. When you're getting close to the engine, listen for any possible leaking around in here, any of the air hoses from the compressor, or anything around there. Obviously we don't hear anything, so up here we're fine. Listen around in here, maybe you'll hear something up under the cab. You may hear something from the airbags under the cab. Now listen for the tanks. Obviously there's no sounds coming from the tanks. Just keep walking around. Inspect your brake chambers, any other airlines. Check your valves. Listen for air possibly coming out of the airbags, which obviously there's no hurt. Continue to thorough inspection all the way around the vehicle, all the brake chambers, all airlines. And as you see, we have no sounds coming from anything. So we obviously do not have any air leaks in the supply system. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get back up in the vehicle. We're going to check the brakes and see if there's any sounds or any leaks from the brakes. So we've done our inspection. Now we're going to inspect the brake system by pressing the pedal and seeing if there's an air leak in the brake system. First thing I'm going to do is ensure that your vehicle is running, and you also want to ensure that your parking brake is disengaged. Now, to test this, we want to push and hold our service brake for 2 minutes and watch the gauges to see if there's any leaking or any movement in the gauges. As we're holding the brake while the vehicle is running, the vehicle should still build the pressure back up that was used to engage the service brake. Okay, after 2 minutes have passed, there's been no drop in pressure, so our service brake is good. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the vehicle off, and then we're going to engage our parking brake, and then we're going to go outside and we're going to test the check valve between the tanks for primary and secondary to ensure that it's not leaking. By doing that, the way we're going to do it is we're going to release all the air out of one of the tanks and then check the gauges to ensure that the other tank still has full pressure. If it does not, then that means that we have a faulty check valve and it needs to be replaced. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drain one of the tanks to ensure that the check valve is operational and not failing. So I'm going to remove all the air from the secondary tank and ensure that the primary tank stays full. So what we need to do is look at the gauge, see what we're sitting at with each gauge, and then as I release the air, go back and check it to ensure the air is still there. Alright, as you can see, we're sitting at roughly about 115 psi on the primary tank, and we're still sitting at about 100 psi on the secondary. I'm going to drain the rest of the air from the secondary, and we're going to ensure that the primary doesn't move. Okay, so as you can see, we drained all the air out of the secondary tank, and the primary tank stayed the same, meaning that that side of the check valve is indeed working as it's supposed to. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start the truck back up, rebuild the pressure, and we're going to swap it around. We're going to drain the air out of the primary and ensure that the secondary stays full. Alright, now we've let the pressure build back up, so we're going to drain the other tank and ensure that the other gauge does not go down. Alright, as you can see, the secondary tank stayed full, primary was drained, meaning our check valve is working on both sides, so there's no need to replace it, no need to do any further testing, unless, of course, you have a trailer attached, in which case you'd follow the procedures for having the trailer test air brakes and air system tested. That's my video. Thank you for watching.